Label Radio.
Yo, this is White Label Radio, classic hip hop from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And I've been teasing a little special guest or whatever. I didn't want to tell you at the very beginning because, you know, saying things happen or whatever, but we got the legend in here. My man Noreaga in the building.
Yeah. Thank y'all for having me. My first time here.
My man Melvin Flint.
Definitely.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and it's not just to gas you up. You are one of my favorite MCs of all time.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. I really do.
You know, I've always liked the things that you've done or whatever, and you've always been able to straddle the line between the underground and the commercial, whatever. Was that something conscious that as you started evolving that you wanted to hone?
Well, I would have to credit being able to balance underground with commercial with Pharrell. Like, bottom line, it was our collaboration from the beginning when we first collaborated. It was like he came from a totally different audience than me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's wearing tight clothes now, but he was wearing it back then. You know what I'm saying? And so I knew he was an innovator. You know what I mean? And he helped introduce me to the commercial world. You know, prior to that, we had the War Report album, and the War Report was really made for like the scum of the earth and the gum under the table and the scuffed up Timberlands. And then going from that, even though Super Thug, the first record me and Pharrell collaborated on, What, even though that was like scummish, you know what I'm saying? It crossed over to a world, and he knew I would do great in that world. I don't know, he had a foresight, like, you know what I mean? And so I credit him when the commercial success. The underground is just in me, you know what I mean? I would rather write some foul stuff as opposed to writing some inspirational stuff, but I write that as well.
So let's take it back to the beginning. When you guys started to rap and started to do your thing, what was the ultimate goal at that time for you guys?
For me, the ultimate goal was just for people to recognize me in Queens. When I performed the album The War Report in Uruguay and you know what I'm saying, Dusseldorf, Germany, and you know what I'm saying, Hamburg, Germany, Amsterdam, and you know, you name it. It's crazy to me because when we made the War Report, me personally, you know what I'm saying, I just made it for Left Rack. I only made it for Left Rack and Queensbridge. Like, I didn't know LA really existed. I didn't know there was a Miami. I didn't know there was a Dubai. You know what I'm saying? All I knew was Left Rack City, Queens. So I wrote on the perspective of a person from Left Rack City. If they listen to this album, they'll love it. I never knew the world existed. So I just wanted to make it in Queens. That was my expectation. And who knows, years later, I'll still be out here, and I'll be out here shopping the show for me and having a great time doing it.
That's dope. That's dope. And when did you realize that you can actually make a career or a living off of this?
Well, it would have to be that album, 1998 N.O.R.E. album after Super Thug dropped, which is What. Because everybody, I say Super Thug and people are like, what? Yeah, I mean, it's the same record. But so after that, I kind of knew, because I didn't know how to balance. I didn't know how to do shows. I didn't know how to book shows. I didn't know how to book flights. I didn't know how to book hotel rooms. I just was a kid that, you know, quote unquote, threw out an album and people were saying it was a classic, and I didn't know how to capitalize off of it. So after I realized it on the N.O.R.E. album, I was like, I knew I could get money for a long time in this business because it was kind of easy. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people, I mean, it's hard. It's extremely hard. It's a lot of work. But if you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like a job. You know what I'm saying? It don't feel like work when you love what you're doing, when you sincerely love what you're doing. And that's the reason why I'm slowly but surely haven't been doing a lot of music lately, is because if I do it, I want to do it with, like, if you could curse, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, if I take a shit, I want to take the most marvelous shit possible. Like, I don't want a shit with a little marble come out. I don't want that. I'm sorry, ladies. You know what I'm saying?
You want something epic.
That was something epic. Like, so it's just like I'm saying, like, you know, when people were rhyming on Mobb Deep beats and Havoc beats and Stevie J beats, I went and rhymed with Pharrell. When people were, you know, going this way, I went with Scott Storch. When people were making this type of music, I went and made Spanish music, because I just like to be different. It's like, don't get me wrong, I do follow trends too, because if it's popping, and I don't want to be the old guy. That's how you become the old guy. You be like, yo, in my day, we ain't do that. Well, we ain't in your day. You know what I'm saying? So some things you gotta adapt to. You know what I'm saying? Now, would I dye my hair and wear skinny jeans? Nah. That part I'm not, but I will appreciate this new music. I'm not one of them older guys that sit around and be like, this generation sucks. I'm just not. I actually go to the clubs. I'm actually still around. I still record records with, the people who consider the most relevant people out there, from the Lil Waynes to the Rick Rosses to the 2 Chainz to the whoever. They all got a record with me recently. You know what I'm saying? Because I stay in tune. And like I said, I'm not one of them guys that's sitting around and saying this new generation sucks. And in my day, because that's what makes you old. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn how to appreciate what you're dealing with presently. And presently, although a lot of people from my era says, man, hip hop sucks. I just think that they're looking at it from the perspective of their career. I look at it from the perspective of these kids' career, and I enjoy it. I enjoy a lot of it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Let's take it back a little bit, because we're gonna take it back a little bit, and then we're gonna come. Water? Yeah, that's all you.
Okay,
that's all
cool.
you. We get you straight here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just left Puff House. He gave me a whole bunch of these.
Okay. Look at you. I just left Puff House. You know what I'm saying? That's why you late. Okay,
it's very true.
So I appreciate you being late and being at Puff House then.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Very true.
So once you guys dropped the War Report, when did you guys know that you had something special?
It's I know, like, it'd be fucked up to say this, but I didn't know at all, like, until like N.O.R.E album, because when it dropped, I didn't know how to book shows, so I stayed in the hood. I was still selling crack. Wow. And a friend of mine named Akinelli, the guy who sings "Put It in Your Mouth."
Oh man, yes.
Akinelli pulls me to the side and he goes, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yo, I'm hustling." He's like, "Yo, pay attention to all these cars." And ironically, it was like 10 cars that passed by in my hood. And out of 10 cars, 9 of them was playing the War Report. You know what I'm saying? And then like the 10th car like wasn't playing the War Report, but they was playing like freestyles of me. Like it was like a thing for you to get the War Report and drive through my hood. You know what I'm saying? And feel like it. But I didn't see that. Akinelli did, so he brought me on tour. And when he brought me on tour, he used to have the wildest. He used to have dancers, he had strippers with bananas and chocolate and shit like that. It was some weird shit, right? And I started to know, like, oh, wow. And then people would come up to me and say, yo, the War Report did this and the War Report did that. And it was like, wow, it's mind blowing. It was like, yo, let me go in the studio. And that's how the N.O.R.E album was created. But I didn't know the War Report was classic at the moment. I just thought we was doing something dope for our hood. I didn't know the world would catch on eventually. And so I'm just blessed. Right.
That's dope. I mean, I'm a West Coast dude, and when it came out and when it hit, it was like a tidal wave. It was one of them joints that I was like, yo, this shit is ill. And I'm on the West Coast, and this is East Coast shit, and it was epic. So.
Man, I appreciate that, man. And the thing about the War Report, man, 99.9% of those stories is real. Like, I didn't know you were supposed to use your imagination. Like, I didn't know that. Like, I thought when a person said in rap, like if they say, yo, I shot this guy, like, you really meant, that's what I thought rap was back then. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know, like, you fucking idiot. Like, imagine some of this. Be creative. That's what creative meant. So literally, if we didn't get into a gunfight, I couldn't write a rhyme. Like, because I was really writing what I was living. That was retarded.
So 100% of the War Report, when you talking about whatever you're talking about,
I would say 99.9%, because at the very end we started to use the imagination. Like, I had wrote the CNN Live On, Live Long while Capone was still home. Like, he was going to jail 2 days later. So I had wrote that before that. So that, obviously, when I'm talking to him in jail, he wasn't actually in jail yet. So that little part wasn't 100% true, because he just wasn't in jail yet. But other than that, 99.9% it was true.
Wow, that's crazy. How old were you when that?
I was 17, 18. You know what I mean? I remember I signed the contract. I was 17, so my moms had to actually sign it with me. How embarrassing, right? Yeah. So my moms had to actually sign it with me. But then that contract got voided, and then on my 18th birthday, I signed it. So yep, so like 17, 18 probably.
That's dope. And how does it feel now that you look back on it? It's been 20 something years or whatever, and now, like you said, you're in Stockholm or Sweden or LA, and people say it changed my life. How does that make you feel?
It's crazy because when people write books, they do that with that purpose, like to change people's lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could imagine Nas knew he was going to change the world with Illmatic. Like, I could just see that he knew that. You know what I'm saying? And I think Big did. I think Pac. If you ask Jay, probably the same thing. I'm just one of those guys that I gotta be honest. Like, I didn't see it changing the world. Like, I didn't. That's why the N.O.R.E. Like, when people ask me, like, all the success, I got one platinum album, 4 gold albums. But out of all the albums, my favorite was N.O.R.E. because that was the first time I actually knew that. Like, if I failed, it would have been my fault.
Yeah.
If I won, I did win. So when I won, it would have been also my fault. So I was totally comfortable with that. But N.O.R.E. is like my favorite because it was like me and Trash had started beefing. Capone had got locked up, and it was like it was 99.9% that I was going to fail. I had no experience in the business. All I did was write rhymes. And for me to go out there and, bumping a Swiss very first track ever done outside of him working with Rough Riders was Banned from TV. A lot of people don't know Swiss produced Banned from TV.
Yes, he did. Yes,
you know
he
what I'm saying? And so I just the success of that album, I will always hold closest to my heart because I did it all on my own as a 19-year-old kid from Left Rack City that flew out to LA to record sessions with Dre during the Firm album. Flew out to Miami and stayed out there, and then flew to Bearsville and worked with track masters. And I worked with phenomenal people at such a young age and on my own. It's like, I have to give back. I have to put on an artist. Like, I don't have the same love for the music business no more. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I will always make music, but I don't know if I'm gonna be in the forefront as a rapper because it's just so much fucky shit. And and then people just co-sign it. It's like, it's dumb to me. It's like, I'd rather be honest, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a 99.9% honest guy as well. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And but I'm scratching out in other ventures. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. We were shopping our show On the Run, eating with N.O.R.E., which is like an Anthony Bourdain, Andrew Zermaine, man versus food type of show. But when you look at these shows, there's no black guys on there. There's no Latinos on there, and I just so happen to be black and Latino, and I'm proud. I'm proud to be both. I've never considered myself to be a black person or consider myself to be a Latino. I am a black Latino. You know what I'm saying?
So when you go and you fill out an application, what box do you check?
Oh, I don't fill out no applications, but the box that I check, it says Latin or it says African American. I check them both. If there's an option, of other, I'll check it because I honestly have never consider myself one thing. I'm both. Like, I could be fully black one day, don't get me wrong, and then tomorrow I go over my Theo's house and they got the chicharrón de pollo con hueso, and I'm gonna be fully Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, it just happens to me. You know what I mean? Yes. But I love representing for both races. I love representing for both sides and so that's what I'm doing with the food show. It's not a cooking show, it's a food show. You know what I mean? So we out here. We had Diddy wants to show. I don't even want to name the people who wants to show because I don't want to seem like I'm flossing because that's not what I'm doing.
Don't do that.
You know what I mean?
Don't do that. So how did you hook up with Pharrell?
Well, Pharrell, it was weird, man, because this is a legendary story to me at least. Pharrell was like, yo, he kept calling my management and he was like, I got this record for N.O.R.E., right? We had not known. We knew he worked with Total. He did a joint with Total, but we didn't know who he was. Right? Yeah. So my manager at the time, Martin Moore, I big you up. He was like, "Yo, you got it. This kid is crazy. I think he's crazy." So I was like, I didn't know if he meant crazy like in the head or crazy with the beats. So I was like, all right, cool. And at the time, it was real baggy clothes style. Yeah. Pharrell walks in there. His shirt is like Superman, it was like a leotard, it was so tight, you know what I mean. He had a choker chain. You know what a choker chain is? It's the shit where your veins pop out. It's so tight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking. He's the exact opposite of me. That's how beautiful music is, though. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So he sat there. He played me a beat. It was great. Then he played me another beat. It was dope. But the third beat, I was on my way to Miami. So the third beat, he said to me, "Don't listen to this beat until you get to Miami." So I say, I was the hot guy at the time. I was like, I could have been like, man, fuck this guy. What do you mean? I could have put the third beat on in the car. But for some reason, I just said I listened to him. And he said to me, yo, N.O.R.E., these artists don't listen to me. The artist that listen to me is going to really benefit off of it. And I just believed him. You know how some people are like, yo, I'm this guy. For some reason, he came in my session full of thugs, full of mad weed, smoke, army suits, dirty fucking sneakers, and he walked in tight everything, the exact opposite of us, and stood there and he told me, he said, I don't have a thug bone in my body. That's one of the first things he said to me. He said, but I know all your lyrics. And he knew Bloody Money. And so, like I said, he said, don't listen to this one beat till you get to Miami. So I got to Miami. I put the CD or the tape on. I forget what it was. And the first thing it said was, you got Manuel Noreaga? He's in the Philippines? And I was like, what? And then it came on and the girl started singing, yeah, 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 yeah. So I called them. I was like, I love this shit. You made this beat only for me. This is the first time a producer had ever made a beat for me. Like, he couldn't sell Super Thug to nobody else. It was, my name was all over it.
Yeah.
So I said, yo, can you change the chick from singing yeah, yeah to what? So he's like, hell yeah. So the next day I flew back to New York. It was Right Track Recording Studios. I remember it. And I had wrote the whole rhyme as one verse. Cause back in the days you couldn't punch in, like, you use an 8-inch reel.
Yeah.
All this digital shit, y'all lucky. Listen, back in the days it was so hard to be an artist. Like, that's why anybody can be an artist right now. You could just laptop, boom, hey, I got a hit record. But back then, I used to count my bars. I used to go, what, one, what, two, what. That's how I counted my bars.
Yeah.
So I laid all three 16s together, but in between the 16s, I was saying what, just to count the bars. So I know 8 bars.
Yeah.
So I came out the booth and I said to him, yo, all right. He's like, yo, the vocals are dope. I was like, yeah, the only thing we got to do is we got to come up with a chorus. And he was like, what do you mean? We got the chorus. So I was like, what's the chorus? He's like, that shit. What? I was like, yo, I do that to count my bars. I was like, that's the chorus. It's gonna work. And I was like, nah, man. Like, I was like, yo, the people gonna laugh at me. And he said, and then you're gonna laugh at them in the bank. And I was like, I didn't get it. The record dropped, hit number 1, and Pharrell's career has been blossoming ever since. God bless him.
That's crazy.
And God bless me for seeing that. And I love the guy. He's still in my corner. I'm still in his corner. We don't work as much as I would like, but I just text him. He just texted me as I was walking in here. I don't know if my phone rings, because I'm giving you all due respect. My phone rings, so I'm trying not to look at the money. You know what I'm saying? Because it got to be some type of money.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. But I had a great run. So if I ever give another crack at it, like seriously, then I would like to do I want to do a Cameron mixtape. I think me and him had a mixtape recorded back in the days. It wasn't called a mixtape back then though. It was a Starsky and Hutch album. And I seen it the other day and we start laughing and just joking.
You guys recorded that?
This is back in the days, like
what
1998. Lance Rivera has it. Entertainment somewhere.
Has it?
Has it somewhere. He
holding it hostage somewhere too.
And I would like to do like a last album, like one side executive produced by Pharrell, the other side executive produced by Swiss Beats. You know what I'm saying? And my man SBK and Hazard is be involved as well. But those are the two guys I started out with. They blossom and blew, and it'd be dope for us to come back together.
And that's something you want to do?
Yeah, I think I want to do. Like maybe a me and Pharrell EP. We've been speaking about that as well. Because right now you don't need record labels. Like in 5 years, Apple will be Def Jam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And please, nobody at Def Jam get mad at me for saying that. But just think about it. Like Dre's album dropped on Apple.
Yeah.
For like I woke up in the morning or whatever it was, Dre's album was in my phone. All I had to do was press buy. That was dope.
Yeah.
Like that was dope. Like U2, remember U2's just stuffed their album in your iTunes,
phone, yeah.
And people were mad about it. So I guess Dre and them figured out that some people don't want to be forced to have music even if it's free. So if that first week of Dre's album, if you just looked on iTunes, it was already in your iTunes. All you had to do was press buy, and you could have streamed it for free. I thought that was brilliant. And if you think about it, with no disrespect to the record labels, then why do you need them at this point? Like you could actually do a deal with Apple. How many people have Apple phones?
Everybody.
Like if you just promote to just people on Apple phones, these record labels are not going to exist. That's why these 360 deals exist now, because the record labels know that they are going to be like dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they might not exist in a few years. So I get it. I understand. But in a few years, Apple, Spotify will be a record label. Apple will be a record label. Beats will be the record label. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. Whatever. Pandora and all that. You know what I mean?
That's why we here, Internet Radio.
That's right. You guys would be the label. You guys would be like signing artists and be like, we're gonna break it just on our shit, on our format. As long as you have a format like of 3 million people, and you say, all right, out of 3 million, all we want is a third of that or a fourth of that.
Yeah, a fourth of that. Yeah.
By God, if you get half, holy moly!
Right?
Because you got to look at it like social media plays tricks on you. You got people who got 21 million followers, but they never got 21 million likes.
Yeah.
So it lets you know, like, no one has got 21 million likes. Even though you got 20 million, like, I don't know how many followers you got. I don't know how many followers you got. But let's just say you got 300. You've never got 300 likes. You got 300 followers. Why the fuck everybody that's following you don't want to like your fucking picture? It's because some people ain't following you because they like you. Some people are following you because they fucking nosy. You understand what I'm saying? This is what the fuck social media is turning into.
Well, actually, to be technical, the reason why they ain't following you, the reason why they don't like you is because your image don't come up in their stream. Every person that you follow don't come up in your stream.
I didn't know that.
They don't come up in your stream. I learned that probably a month ago. I said the same thing. I'm like, yo, all these people following, but everything don't come up in your stream. So like right now, you following 15,000 people. Right. You don't see 15,000. Wow. You know what I'm saying? People in your stream. So that's the reason why you can like. And then more people you like, there's algorithms that make you put those people in the forefront of your stream. Wow. And then people that's in that same lane as well too.
Wow. But the person that figures out that, yo, listen, if you are on this social media and you have to be active on my social media. Yes. You have to be doing comments and stuff. That person is going to be rich. When you actually could because it's people who have 8 million followers and then they sell fucking 300 records when they come out.
That don't make sense.
That's a fucking disconnect there. Yes. There's something there that is fucking wrong. You know what I mean? About that. And I'm just telling you, eventually Twitter, Snapchat is going to cost money. Yeah. Because it's so entertaining. Like, it's so like if right now they stopped Twitter, they stopped Instagram, they stopped Facebook, they stopped everything, and they said, yo, you got to pay $1 a month. At first, you're going to be like, man, fuck that was free. But then you're looking like, damn, all I'm doing is texting on my phone.
I'm bored now.
You're like, man, you're going to take that $1, man. Here goes 12 for the whole year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But think about it. You're going to pay to see the bullshit in a little while. Listen, I'm not trying to be Nostradamus, but I'm just telling y'all, just remember what I said. The record labels will become extinct, and they will become Apple, or Apple and them will join forces or something like that. And you're going to have to pay for social media in a little while. Because it's so entertaining.
Speaking of social media, you're pretty active on social media.
Yeah, man. I got down with Twitter early. I got a lot of people in Los Angeles and San Fran and Google lands and all that. So they put me up. Only thing I'm not up on is Snapchat. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I know that probably makes me old. I get it.
I just had the same conversation. I'm not on Snapchat either. And it's like, yo, Mello, you need to get on Snapchat. I'm like, damn, I feel old.
Yeah, I feel old. Thank you, man.
I can't connect with it. I can't
understand it. I can't understand it. I don't understand my story. I don't know. They're like, this is my story. You're like, what the fuck? I don't know. But listen, man, at the end of the day, I support what's going on, man. I get it. I'm on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Mr. Super Slime. I'm on Twitter at N.O.R.E.A.G.A. So I'm getting with it, and hopefully eventually I'll get a Snapchat.
The reason why I say you're active on social media because we posted this picture. We do this thing called White Label Radio Versus where we take an artist versus another artist. We have people kind of poll or whatever. And we posted this picture right here, you versus Keith Murray.
Oh, and I commented.
And you commented on it because he was like, hey, hold on, I got these many gold records or whatever and shit because Cats was there. And I was like, that's sick. My man actually paying attention.
Oh yeah, I pay attention, man. If you mention me and you tag me in, if I ignore you, I didn't like what you said. You know what I'm saying? Because it's better to ignore you than to say something to you, and then people start to think that they're important. Not to say that they're not important, but hate shouldn't make you important. You know what I'm saying? That's what people like. A dude said to me like on social media. He said something foul to me, and I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yo, I really didn't mean that. I just wanted to get your attention." I said, "You can get my block button. Like that's it. Like I don't look at social media as a threat or something, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's something I do when I'm in the bathroom. It's something I do when I'm waiting for a plane. It's something I do when I, having a meal and just bored. But I can't take that part of life that serious because it's not really even real life. Like,
No.
you know what I'm saying? So you got to know how to differentiate that. Like I know girls, I know beautiful models. They have 160,000 followers, and they'll walk in the room and they'll think that they're the biggest thing in the world. But then once the filter is off, a lot of people don't even recognize them.
They don't know who they
what I'm
are,
saying?
right?
They don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I know dudes the same way.
Yeah.
Dudes got, the six-pack washboard abs, and they on the joint, and they go down the block. Nobody know who the fuck they is on their own block. You know what I'm saying? But
your neighbors don't know who you are.
Yeah. So it's like you can't be caught up in that. Because you have so many followers doesn't mean you're better than this person. Because you don't have that many followers don't mean you're less of a person than anybody. So don't take it so serious. It's fun. Enjoy it. And that's about it. Right?
That's dope. So you still doing music? They actually sent us a new song. So let's get into that.
I got a joint, Mustard, who's from LA. Ty Dolla $ign. I worked with Ty Dolla $ign so early in the game. Even before Paranoid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even before that, Ty Dolla $ign is extremely phenomenal talent. I feel bad I didn't get a chance to go to his crib. He comes to my crib in Miami. I make sure I get the exotic smoke because you guys in LA are very spoiled when it comes to smoke when you leave LA. When you leave LA, I swear there's no smoke like LA when y'all leave LA. You ever notice that about LA people? They be like, y'all got weed? Like, nigga, this weed outside of LA. Y'all ain't got all the weed, all right? Y'all got the best, it's true. But y'all don't got all the weed. But so, I make sure he's a great guy. I'm supposed to go to his crib. So he hooked me up with Mustard. I also got my artist on there, City Boy D. And, for the finishing touches, I put Rick Ross on there. But you know what I mean? So I'm still having fun. I can still get features. I can still do that. I could do it. It's just my heart is in another place right now, and I'm gonna capitalize off of that as well.
As you should. Let's get into the song. What's the song called?
It's called We Don't. It's originally We Don't Fuck With Them Niggas, but we just cleaned it up. I don't think we have a clean version, but I'm eventually send out a clean version. Probably do the video and bug out. But it's called We Don't, featuring Ty Dolla $ign, Rick Ross, City Boy D, and your boy N.O.R.E. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get it back, man. I seen Stretch Armstrong and Bobbito. They had a documentary, and it was like Stretch was talking about how he lost his passion, and hopefully I'll get it back. You know what I'm saying? It's because I just want to do something 100%. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to do nothing like and I got loyal fans who roll with me, man.
That's true.
And they bought my Spanish album, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I can't turn my back on them. So they're gonna I'm gonna do a dope ass mixtape just for free, just to give it out, and then I'm probably gonna fall back to the last album. You know what I mean? Probably gonna be Melvin Flint too. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I want to correct that album. You know what
I was about to say, I'm a diehard N.O.R.E. fan.
Right. And you was mad at me when I said Melvin Flint wasn't a good album?
I was disappointed in Melvin Flint. I was disappointed with Melvin Flint. I think you could have did better, but then when you said that it wasn't a good album, the fact that you as an artist seen that made me appreciate you more, because every artist say, oh, this album, all my albums are great. No, that's not true.
My heart wasn't in it. Big Pun had died. My father had died. And the record label gave me $800,000. Like, I can't tell them I'm not going to work. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell them, chill on the studio. Like, they paid me. It was up front. So I had to go in there. So I didn't have no time to grieve. And there's a lot of, like, I finally listened to it the other day. Like, the Missy track, I was drunk as hell. Like, I was supposed to go back in there and fix those vocals. Like, I just rushed it. I didn't rush it, but it was like, and I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. Like, don't get me wrong. I listen to it now and I'm like, oh, okay. I can see it's better than what I thought, but it's still a half-ass album to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I half-assed it.
Are you scared to name your last album Melvin Flint 2 because it might have a negative connotation?
I don't know what it. You know what? The crazy thing about me saying that is I got so many drunk, white fans who come up to me in the airport and they're mad at me. They're like, yo, Melvin Flint was the best album I've ever heard in my life. How dare you call? And it's like, you didn't hear N.O.R.E. album, I could tell. Like, they're like, yo, that's how I got put on you through Melvin Flint. I said that then if you got put on me through the War Report and got put on me through N.O.R.E., then you would see that Melvin Flint was a disappointment.
That's true.
Like, you would know that my heart wasn't there. You would know that Pun was my very first friend in hip hop. And my mother never asked me for nothing, right? My mother comes up to me one day. She was like, I want to meet somebody. So I'm like, ma, like, I think she's going to say Luther Vandross or Michael Jackson. She's like, I want to meet Big Pun. So I said to my moms, I said, oh, that's my best friend. We ain't going to rush that. Don't worry. I'll make that happen. Pun died in 2 weeks after that.
Wow.
And it was like, damn. I never seen it coming. Like, when I think back at it, I used to see Pun falling asleep. Like, what's that? With narcolepsy,
yes,
when you, I don't think narcolepsy is that. Sleep apnea, like type of thing. Like when you just fall asleep in the middle of a conversation. And I used to see him do that, but I used to think I was being boring. You know what I'm saying? So we would talk, and he'd just be like. So I used to be like, all right, cool. Maybe I gotta up my ante, like when I'm talking to him. But then I realized that was a sign that enough oxygen wasn't coming to his brain, or it was something that was just. But I was too young to know that. So at Pun's funeral, I remember leaning over at his casket, and I start crying. I was the only person that stayed at his casket for 15 minutes. You had like 30 seconds to a minute, and that was it. But they let me stay for 15 minutes, and I was crying. And I remember somebody from Terror Squad, Flex, God bless the dead, he passed away too. Flex used to be Fat Joe's manager. He picks me up, and he was like, Pun's not suffering no more. And I remember yelling at him like, when was he suffering? Like, I never seen Pun suffer. Like, I never seen that other than what I just told you about. But from what I heard, he was really suffering. So I didn't see that. So when he died, it was as a shock to me. Then my father died. Like, it was like, my father, from a lot of people from the hood don't have their fathers in their lives. And a lot of people in their hood they have their fathers, they don't have their mothers. I have my father and my mother. So I grew up rich. Not money, but love.
Love, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so for two of the closest people to me pass away in the same month or a month after, it was mind blowing to me. So Melvin Flint, I'm sorry, I can't take back that statement. People be, yo, it's a white boy. I seriously thought he was gonna swing on me. He was like, yo, I want you to take back that statement. I want you to say that the album was great. And I was like, how can I do that? And I'm looking, he leaned over me. I'm like, yo, is this nigga about to snuff me for what I said about my shit? Like, you don't got nothing to do with this. That's how offended it was. So if I'm gonna leave out the game, I want to do the one mistake that I feel like I didn't do right. So I would correct it. That's what I would do. Yep.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And since we were talking about Big Pun, real fast, what made Pun special?
Because Pun was just the funniest dude in the world. Like, a lot of people heard this story, but I'll say it again. Like, I got on the Firm album. And when I got on the Firm album, Nature was there. So that's why Nature's on that song, I'm Leaving.
Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to repay Nature back by putting him on my album. So I got the studio. Pun hits me and says, yo, where you at, motherfucker? I'm like, yo, I'm an Electric Lady. He's like, yeah, I'm outside. I already knew. So I'm like, all right, that was creepy. All right, cool. He comes in, you know what I'm saying? Or his gang, wild Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying? They're my crew. And I go downstairs to smoke a cigarette or, I don't know, meet somebody. I don't know what I did. By the time I come back, Pun had already laid his verse on Banned from TV. So I'm looking at the engineer like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, why you just let this guy do it? And he looked at me like, man, this guy's 450 pounds. You think I was going to tell him no? And I'm looking at the engineer like, yo, pussy motherfucker. So Pun goes, are you going to erase that? I said, I'm going to erase that the minute you leave. Like, that's the relationship me and Pun had. We would joke with each other. He knew his verse was fire. But I was like, and that just shows you what type of person he is. Like he not only thought that he was helping, but he took his spot. Like, he didn't ask to be on Banned from TV.
Yeah.
He just went in there, and the way Pun used to lay his vocals was phenomenal. He used to take a big ass couch, like the biggest couch in the studio, and he'll put it down there, and he'll have the mic down. And that's why his breath sounded so crazy, is because he was actually sitting down catching his breath. You know what I'm saying? I heard Big used to do that too. I'm not sure.
I watched him perform out here in LA, and he did it in the chair.
He sat down.
He sat down. I was like, the way he was rapid fire, I'm like, I had to stand up to do that.
Yeah.
The fact that he sat down and did it was crazy.
Yeah, yep, definitely, man. So he was just, again, another story, a quick story. We was at a diner one day, and he knew I don't eat pork. So I think about it, he's a foul guy. Like, so I'm sitting on like I'm sitting here and like this is how you get out the diner, right?
Yeah.
So he comes, he knows what he ordered, right? And he knows like I'm like Muslimish. You know what I'm saying? I'm not technically Muslim, but I'm Muslimish, right?
Muslim adjacent.
Yeah, Muslim adjacent, right? That's perfect. So Pun gets his food, he sees it, and he sits right next to me, so I can't get out the row. And he orders pork chops and applesauce. And he's like, your Puerto Rican side don't want to smell this. Your Puerto Rican. I'm like, yo, Pun, that's violation, man. I don't want to smell no pork. He's like, it's pork chops. It's a different white meat. It's the other white meat. Yo, and that just lets you know what type of person he is, man. Like he was a great guy. It was extremely bad loss for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't plan on making friends in hip hop. I planned on just getting my money and, you know, moving out or doing whatever. But when you meet a soul that's from God, it's like, I think God wanted to laugh. That's why they took him away, because this guy was like, the first time I met him, it was also another disrespectful moment. Fat Joe walked in the room and said, which one of y'all niggas got shot? And I was like, damn, how you meet somebody and that's the first thing they say to you? Like because Capone had just got shot like last week.
Yeah. So
he actually said that. He's like, which one of y'all got shot? And Capone goes, me. And then Fat Joe goes, yo, that shit hurt, right? And I was like, huh? and then I think Joe had got shot. So they start having they shot conversation.
Yeah.
So then they go, yo, which one of y'all Puerto Rican? And I go, me. I raise my hand. You know, so the whole time I got on, I don't know them from holding them all. The whole time I got like little 22 in my jacket and I'm just hardcore. Like, what these Bronx dudes want? And Pun came over to me and he whispered, he said, yo, you should take the ice grill off, Papa. Because if you Puerto Rican, you're gonna be my friend. And it was the funniest shit I've ever heard. Because I'm sitting there trying to be hard, like trying to like, you know, Fat Joe came in here asking some awkward questions. Like the first time I met Fat Joe, he asked me, did I get shot? What? Like, which one of y'all got shot? And then, so Pun did that. It broke the ice. We've been friends since then. Fat Joe is still my friend. Fat Joe's daughter eats at my house. My son eats at his house. It's like a real friendship there. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
And a lot of people say you don't meet friends in hip hop. That's false. You just meet a lot of fake people, and then you cut off a lot of real people because you're scared of what your situation you went through with the fake people. But you can't judge. You can't, because one black person does something to you, you can't judge the whole black race.
Yes.
Wrong. Because one Mexican does something wrong to you, you can't judge the whole Mexicans. You gotta, it's really about, a scumbag is a scumbag in any color, shape, form, or size. But there's also good people. You can't cut off a whole race of people or a whole whatever because of one scumbag. Like you might hate rappers. You might hate certain rappers, right? But doesn't mean every rapper is like the rapper you first started to hate.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and me personally, I'm pro rapper, right? You know what I'm saying? So everybody, you know, criticizing Young Thug, I would like to see what I like about Young Thug. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everybody's dissing Meek Mill, I want to say what I like about Meek Mill because I'm pro rapper, right? Doesn't mean I'm anti-human. You know what I'm saying? It's just that rap saved my life. You know what I'm saying? So I would like. I'm like rap's lawyer on the low. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get paid for it and shit. You know what I mean? Where I'm pro bono. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so man, I enjoyed this, man. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for inviting me.
It's been an honor, man. Like I said, you're one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Thank you, man.
I put you in the category Cameron, Ghostface. You know what I'm saying? Like you were up there. So I appreciate you actually.
Thank you.
You know, gracing us with your presence or whatever.
Nah, I appreciate being here, man. I appreciate Cali has been showing me so much love, man. It's so ironic, man, that, you know, one of my first records was LA. And I don't think I could leave LA right now because I'm just loving what's going on. I'm loving so much money out here. You could just walk into money. I was just walking out of a parking lot and just seeing Irv Gotti. What's up? I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's just like that out here. And it's like, and I haven't been here for a year. It's crazy. The last time I came out here was for Murs. Murs had something on Sunset. He had a concert.
Oh yeah, the Sunset Music Festival.
Yeah. So, yes. I think that was like October, right?
Yeah,
it's like October. So it's exactly a year from now. I haven't been out here, but it especially if you're doing TV and movie, it reminds me of how dope it is to be out here. And, you know, everybody keeps telling me, yo, you gotta move out here. And, you know, it's for the first time I'm finally considering it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, next time you come out, you got to come in and
Right.
we'll get more time in here. We'll play
Absolutely.
some
Listen,
new music. You know?
100% apologize. What happened was, the people. I want to be honest. What happened was the people from Lionsgate was not letting me leave this meeting. They're the people who brought me out here and set up all this thing for my second part of my life.
You can't stop the money.
I wanted to sneak out so bad, but it's like when they were so open, I was like, God damn it! I kept telling my man, call her, make sure she know that we're not being disrespectful at all. Because that's why I survive in this industry. Like, I'm a punctual guy. Like, all these meetings I've been to, we came 10 minutes up early. The only meeting we came through a little late was BET, and that's because we got there at 4:01, but we were supposed to be there at 4. You know what I'm saying? So I'm usually very punctual, but it's just that I just couldn't get away from what I had lined up. But again, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you opening your doors, man. Letting me tell my phenomenal hip hop stories.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm sure you got more, so we'll get you in here to tell some more.
Oh, nah, no problem, man.
One thing I know you can do is talk.
Yeah, man. I could be me.
Yes.
The one thing I could do is be me. The thing about it is, I will never succeed if I'm trying to be you. You know what I'm saying? I will never succeed if I'm trying to be him or her or whatever. The one thing I'm fucking phenomenal at is being me. And I noticed that. So, that's why I follow certain trends, but I don't jump on everything because, like EDM, I like it, but I couldn't do an EDM album right now because I'll wild the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? I'll be too, like, that's the thing about me. I do it with 100%, but, it's just life, man.
But before we go, we like to give our guests gifts.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to be here.
I got to sign one more, right?
Yeah, Also, we're signing Polaroid, so we're going to give one away. So you can sign that right now while I get your gift or whatever.
Right.
So.
Oh, okay. You give me a gift.
Yes.
Oh, this is different.
Exactly.
This is
We show love to our folks that come through because you don't have to come here. So we show love to our folks. So
okay.
Big shout out to the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame's a clothing brand. They got a store on Fairfax. So some tees in there, some shorts in there.
Okay, so Fairfax, so let me just get this correct. Fairfax is like the cool kids hang out, right?
Yes.
That's where the cool kids hang out. That's where Tyler, the Creator, and the wild skateboard kids that will hit you with the skateboard, that's where they be at. And their fashion is on point.
That's where all the brands are at, yes.
Hipster Central, correct?
It's hipster and hip hop central. Yes,
I'm an honorary hipster. I don't know how this happened, but hanging out with Kid Cudi, and Pharrell and Alchemist. They said you're fucking in. You're in by association.
There you go.
So I go to hipster parties. I smoke
hookahs and shit.
Listen, no. If a hipster party, they have to have American spirit. If there's not American spirit, it's the worst cigarette in the world. They tell you it's organic. I don't know why.
And Pabst beer.
It's fucking horrible. And their sneakers got to be a little bit crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they got to be. And the hipsters, I'm in. Like, see what I'm saying? The thing about me is, I give everybody a chance. I don't care how weird it is. Right? My father used to say, look at what you like in a person before you see what you don't like in a person.
Word up.
So I give everybody a chance until you go crazy. But
definitely. So man, Hall of Fame is on Fairfax or whatever.
Let me pick up Hall of Fame on Fairfax. Word. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very
got
much,
some gear, whatever. So if you're ever on Fairfax, check it out. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you was asking me my shirt size. You was in on a surprise. Foul guy, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get it.
So we're about to get out of here.
Thank you once
My
again.
man Noreaga, one of the legends in the game. This is White Label Radio, classic hip hop from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. My name is Mellow, and that's DJ Nels.
Right.
We got to get out of here. So in the meantime, in between time, we are out. Peace.